Now let's go to the ending. We're going to finish the call. Finally. Okay, so this is how we do it. This is a cool phrase. Once again, my name is, and then you say your agent name, Leo. Once again, my name is Leo. Yo, what's up, guys? Today's class is on empathy tips for the internet. I'm going to give you 5 tips for empathy and how to use empathy with customers when it comes to troubleshooting the internet. There are 5 things you need to keep in mind for doing this type of process. And in terms of empathy, these are the 5 tips I'm going to share with you. Tip number 1, listen attentively. Pay attention to what the customer is telling you. The first tip I'm going to give you is don't interrupt the customer while he or she is explaining to you or venting even what the situation is about. Listen carefully to key vocabulary terms, key descriptions of the problem or the issue that the customer is going through. This will give you more information on how to resolve the problem. Also, it's very important in this stage also to ask clarifying questions. So for example, so you say your internet is slow. Can you tell me when this happens? Or you say you don't have coverage. When does this happen? Or when did this problem start to happen? So during the active listening part, it's important for you to gather as much information as you can. So remember, don't interrupt the customer. Listen attentively. Listen for the key words. Ask clarifying questions for you to gather as much information as you can. Also, it's very good to make verbal cues, acknowledge the customer by when he's talking and saying something to you, don't stay completely quiet. You could say things like, I understand. I see. So the customer hears that you're paying attention to what they're saying. So number 1, listen attentively. Number 2, this is very important. Acknowledge the customer. Especially acknowledge the customer's feelings. When somebody is going through an internet or connectivity issue, this usually is a frustrating experience. So try to acknowledge the customer by using vocabulary, empathy vocabulary and empathy verbs like, I understand that when the internet is not working as expected, it can be frustrating. Or verbs like I know it can be difficult to be without the internet. Or I understand it's hard when the internet is not working as expected. So these type of verbs, empathy verbs, help you make that emotional connection with the customer. Also, verbal cues like I know, I hear what you're saying. I myself would feel the same with this type of situation. So these verbal cues will help you acknowledge. Remember that empathy is to acknowledge the emotions of the customer. Number 3, use positive language. During the whole troubleshooting process, it's very important for you to use positive language and to reinforce that language during the whole interaction. How do you do that? By using phrases like, I'm here for you now, or you're my priority, or let's work together and troubleshoot this device. So along with your acknowledgement, your empathy statements, also provide positive language, assuring language, or assurance of help language. So you can connect it with something like, I know it can be difficult when the internet is not working as expected, but I'm here for you now and you're my priority. Let's work together and troubleshoot this issue together. So positive language will reinforce the experience and make the customer feel more assured that you're going to actually help them. Number 4, guide the customer through the troubleshooting process. When you're troubleshooting the internet, it's a series of steps, a series of tests in order that you, steps that you follow in order to determine the root cause of the problem. And this requires for you to guide the customer through a series of tests to check the settings, the different settings. So it's very important to walk the customer through the steps with clear language, provide clear instructions and clear language. Don't use jargon or technical language, terminology that the customer will not understand. The simpler you explain it to the customer, the better it's going to be for the customer's experience and the faster you'll resolve the issue. So walk the customer through the process. And finally, number 5, it's important to test your work. After you've gone through the different troubleshooting steps together with the customer, it's very important that you test the internet connection and see that everything is established and back to normal before you let the customer know. This will avoid a call back, right? This will avoid the customer calling you back and affecting your metrics. So it's very important to ask questions, to say things to the customer like, can you please test your internet to verify that everything's back in order? Can you load a website or can you load a video? This will allow you to verify that what you did, the actions that you took, actually helped the customer with the problem. It's also very important to provide self-help. If you can provide, this is a good opportunity to provide self-help. You can provide instructions for the customer to take action in the future. Like, Mr. Customer, next time this happens with your phone, you can go to the settings and repeat the steps that we did before you have to call customer service. Or you can visit our website under /support and find out more instructions on how you can activate the internet again or troubleshoot the internet by yourself. So providing self-help is a great opportunity for the customer to learn, to educate the customer, so the customer doesn't need to call the call center again for simple things like the internet. And of course, when you finish the process, leave clear memos, clear notes of the steps that you took with the customer on the different things that you tried out in order to fix the internet. This will allow the next agent to pick up the situation where you left off. And it's a good way of documenting what you did on the call. All right, guys. So these are the steps that I want you to consider when you're troubleshooting the internet. Remember, number one, listen attentively to your customer. Number two, acknowledge the customer's feelings or emotions. Use key empathy verbs like I understand and I know to do this. Number three, reinforce positive language throughout the whole interaction, not just at the beginning of the call. Assure the customer with phrases like, I'm here for you now, and you're my priority at this time, to help the customer feel secure and assure that you're going to help them in the process. Number four, guide the customer through the troubleshooting process using clear instructions without using jargon. Don't use technical language with the customer. And number five, always test your work at the end to make sure that the steps that you took were effective to avoid a callback. And that's how you guys will provide great empathy while troubleshooting the internet. Let's go check out a document that we got over here. We're going to read it more in detail, more tips about it, more examples. We'll have an activity for you guys to practice this. And at the end, we'll have a quiz. Let's get started. Number one, opening. Thank you for calling Amazon customer service. This is Carlos. How may I help you today? Two, empathy. Hi, Mr. Customer. I can relate to what you're saying about your package, and I'm very sorry to hear you haven't received it yet. Assurance. Please understand that you're my priority at this moment, and you're talking to a tracking expert here at Amazon. I can definitely verify on my end the status of your verification. Can I please have your order number, please? Thank you. Would you please go next step? Okay. Hold procedure. Mr. Customer, I need to work on my system for a couple of moments. Can I place you on hold for 2 minutes while I work on the system? Yes? Thank you so much, sir. Okay, Mr. Customer, as my system information shows, the package was delivered on 12/1. Okay, Mr. Customer, just to be on the same page, you will receive your package tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. through UPS. Once again, my name is Rocky Balboa. Thank you very much for choosing Amazon. Have a wonderful day, a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year. Blessing to everybody at the family. See ya. Bye-bye. Now let's go to the ending. We're going to finish the call. Finally. Okay, so this is how we do it. This is a cool phrase. Once again, my name is, and then you say your agent name, Leo. Once again, my name is Leo.